Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the iFox Juice podcast. I'm your host, Juice. I'm here with my co-host, Reen. What's happening, Reen?
Not much. How's it going?
I'm doing all right. I'm feeling good. I haven't really been as happy to be an American as I have in the past couple of days. Got, MAGA jaw trending. Got white people scared that their boy's going to be taken out of office. It's actually it feels kind of nice.
I forgot that MAGA jaw was trending. Oh shit. Oh man.
It's not necessarily a good thing when white people are scared because I get scared, but it is funny. And it's just, it's good to have them feel it every once in a while, So with that, having said that, let's just go straight into the review of last week. We didn't cover the fights. And before we even do that, we apologize. We both kind of had issues on our end, so we just decided to forego it. I did an interview with Drake Riggs. If you're listening to this now, you're probably aware of that. So go back and listen to that if you haven't. But let's just get into the review of UFC 245 right now. So, yeah, hashtag MAGA jaw was a thing because Colby Covington got his jaw broken by the Nigerian immigrant. And fuck. Honestly, it has to be a top 2, top 3 fight of the year, right? Contender?
It has to be. Such a good fight.
And remember, I don't know if you said it, but I know I was definitely like, why do people give a shit about this fight? It's going to be so boring. 2 wrestlers that are basically identical.
Yes.
They're just going to fucking... That was the last thing that happened. It didn't even happen. They didn't even entertain the idea.
They want to beat each other up. That's the way it was. It was crazy. Not one takedown attempt, nothing.
We were talking about this off air, and I made the comment to you that I love this fight because I said they fought like girls. And what I mean by that is that so many times, tell me how many times you can count of these big grudge matches in the UFC with male fighters that we're so excited to see and nothing ends up happening. It's just some boring ass fight. Because they don't want to lose. They're too scared to lose to one another. But when you see girls get in a fight and they don't like each other, it's fucking on because they want to tear each other's heads off. And that's what this fight was like, it was personal. They made it personal and it fucking looked personal. I loved it.
It was like that straight from the get-go. As soon as they met in the center, it's like it was on. It was game on. It was crazy. I watched it twice. It was that good. I watched it twice. I had to.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the fights since Saturday, but that's gonna be, I guess, another one of the topics as far as this fight card goes is just how fucking long it was. Great fights all around. I really can't complain. But I guess Amanda Nunes didn't do us favors. We'll talk about her in just a sec. But I know the Covington and Usman ended. But those with a minute left, man. We sat through almost an hour and a half of fights of just the championship fights. It's like oh my god, not even including the Aldo and the Faber fight, and then of course all the prelims, which were excellent by the way. But it was like, oh, I don't know. What do you think about doing another 3 title belts on one card thing again?
That was too much for me. That was too much. Honestly, I did fall asleep initially, so I had to go back and rewatch it. After the Amanda fight, I passed out. I was sick anyways, and then I passed out. So I'm like, I can't.
It's interesting because we the event that we always talk about on this podcast because where we met at UFC 214 was John Jones and Cormier, the rematch. Cyborg fought on there. That was a title fight. And then Woodley and Maia was on there. Yeah, nobody liked that fight, but there was 3 title fights. But it made a difference that Cyborg finished Evan during the third, and so did John Jones. But that's the thing you got to remember: these can go 5 rounds, and doesn't always mean that they're gonna be fucking burnt. Even if they are exciting fights, you're gonna be burned out by the time the third fight comes around.
I mean, I was kind of burnt out with before the title fights. Like we had some awesome fights.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're
I'm
right.
like,
Yeah, with
we had so much. I'm like, holy shit, we got more going on. Like we had three more.
honestly, I didn't have a complaint with the Amanda Nunes fight. I mean, yeah, it wasn't the most exciting thing in the world, but I've seen worse. But after seeing some of the crazy shit we've seen, it's just like, it was like you know, it was like taking a sleeping pill after a long day. It's like, fuck, it was fun, but
Hmm.
it was like if you just went to Disneyland, like, man, that was fun, that was cool, and then as soon as you get in the car, like, I'm gonna take a fucking Ambien, you're gonna get knocked the fuck out, you know? Like,
Yeah.
that's not what you need then and there.
I was a little disappointed in that fight. Like I thought GDR would take that fight, but it seemed like she didn't work on what she needed to work on. Like we know her stand-up's great. It's fucking awesome. But I was surprised. Like she was easily taken down, and then on the ground, I heard that she does, fairly well. She's good.
Well, she
Well,
almost got
she's
that triangle,
yeah,
kind
she
of.
got that almost got that triangle, but it was like a lot of defense and just not being aware and trying to attack her as well. And because I shit, feel like I'm talking shit about Amanda. She's a black belt, but I'm like,
It,
how much of a black belt are you? Like, because GDR, it just didn't. I don't know. I wasn't as impressed with Amanda. You know.
there's a few
So
things going on here. Well, in Amanda's case, it's easy to see why you wouldn't be impressed when you knock out Cyborg in 45 seconds, when you head kick Holly Holm, when you do the spectacular shit that she does. I mean, you can only set the bar
well, that's
so
not
high.
what I'm talking about though. Like on the ground with GDR, I was just surprised. Like
Well,
there were many attempts. Yeah, but I was just like, wow.
and to that end, I'll say two things with Amanda and with GDR. GDR, she was saying in the build up, she's not going to strike with me. She's going to go for the takedown. She's going to go for the takedown. And I think she was I hope she didn't mean it in the way that it sounds like literally, because if she meant that, that means she knew exactly what she was going to do and didn't prepare for it, which is a possibility. But I also think there's a possibility that this is, I guess, the more likely option for me. She was saying that to kind of like try to embolden her to strike with her, to try basically like kind of calling her a pussy, like, oh, you're too scared to strike with me. So that would get her to like come forward and strike with her, so she had a chance. Maybe it was like some mental warfare thing going on there. I know she's a very nice and very humble, but I think that she was probably doing a little bit of that. And then that didn't go her way, and she just probably didn't train enough. And the thing with Amanda, why I think her jiu-jitsu and her grappling didn't look as impressive, is that she gassed herself out in that first round. And I know she was kept saying that she wanted to prove that she could go 5 rounds, and she said that with the Shevchenko fight too. But honestly, the Shevchenko fight, she went 5 rounds because she was pacing herself, and she knew this was not going to be an easy girl to knock out because she's so defensively on point. And with Jermaine, she went for it so hard in the first, she just kept trying to recover ever since the first round. I mean, Dana and her coaches, everyone was making. I was screaming at her while I was watching. I was like, "Guard your fucking face," because the up kicks were there all day, and Jermaine landed a few times, and
I didn't. Yeah,
she could have been in real trouble. And I was like, why are you being this dumb? Like, you're just being careless. Like, there's no reason to do this. But it was because she got so emotional. She got so caught up in the moment. She wanted to finish her in the first, and she was just like, she wasn't even really going for submissions or anything on the ground, because I think she just wanted an easy victory, and she didn't want to like not put herself in danger, because I don't think Jermaine could have really done anything, but I think she just wanted to like, I'll just stand on top of her and beat her up a little bit, and that should be enough because I did so much in the first round. But then she lost the second round, easily lost the second round.
right. I mean, that was a tough fight for her, and that's why I was like, why is she getting hit with up kicks? Not like once, like twice, three times. Like I stopped counting. I was getting frustrated. Like, why? Why are you taking this unnecessary damage?
That was just a rookie mistake. It was a rookie mistake, and then that's the thing too. Like, remember in the Zingano fight, she tried to go for a knee bar. That's kind of where things went wrong for her, but that was because that was a very personal thing with Kat. But she went for it with the full intention of like, yeah, I can rip this fucking chick's leg off. I don't know why she didn't go that with GDR, especially with the long legs that she has. And even if you get the fear that she gets up, or even if she gets on top of you, she's not going to be able to do much because she's not on your level on the ground.
Well, that triangle was close.
It,
That was
it,
so close. I'm like,
yeah,
she got her arm too. I'm like, wow. I was impressed with that transition that she had. But yeah, just like overall, I was a little disappointed. Like, had GDR just fixed the little things, a little few things there here and there, like she would have took that belt. I had a feeling she was going to, but yeah, I didn't think that fight would go like that at all.
that
But yeah.
flying knee she landed too was, I mean, goddamn, the chin on Amanda because that landed pretty flush.
hmm
I
She
mean,
taken down every time, like overextending herself.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, there were really no adjustments. It kept happening, and there was really no adjustments at all.
I
So
I tweeted out during and after the fight that I actually enjoyed the fight, but for really fucked up, weird, morbid reasons. I enjoyed it because it was interesting when I first got into women's MMA because I was like, oh, like these girls are really tough and scrappy. They're really entertaining, but they're still like catching up with the men. You know, I was watching it like around when Ronda Rousey came in 2012, 2013. I knew that they were talented, but like, oh, I clearly you look at Ronda, she's a judo specialist. You look at Miesha Tate, she's just a wrestler. You look at some of these other girls, like they're just strikers. And little by little, they've been getting more and more well rounded. And now, where I basically think they're on par with men. But this fight was like a throwback. And I was just kind of laughing as I was watching because I'm like, man, I feel like I get transported back to like 2013 where girls are just going with one discipline. This girl can strike, and this girl can, this girl's not willing to strike, so she's just taking her down, and it's not a competitive match at all. And I was just like, man, this is just so weird because this is the greatest woman to ever fight. And yeah, she's dominating her, but we know she's capable of more than this. But she just kicked it old school just for the fuck of it.
that's perfect. The way you just explained it was just perfect.
And then we'll talk about Holloway and Volkanovski in a bit. But just to segue into this, another thing I tweeted was as quote unquote boring and as unimpressive as this fight is, that's the last thing Irene Aldana wanted to watch that fight that night.
Oh yeah. How crazy did you go? Like how were you screaming when you saw that knockout?
Oh yeah, because you know what? I had a feeling Irene was gonna connect and connect big. I didn't think she'd knock her out, but I had a feeling that she might drop her in the end of the round too, because Ketlin was getting a little wild. She was going wild early on, and I've been seeing some of her fights prior to Saturday because it had been so long. I'd almost forgotten how she fought. Like I almost completely forgot about the Kat Zingano fight. All I remembered about that fight was that she got some judo tosses on her, and I knew that she was a judo black belt. So I'm like, okay, I know her grappling's okay. And then I seen some of her striking. I'm like, oh, okay, she's a decent striker as far as like she's smart and she's active, but she's still pretty rudimentary. Like she's still kind of sloppy. She still goes with power more than precision. And I knew with Aldana that might be a problem. And when the way that was playing out, I was like, man, she's biting down on her mouthpiece a lot. She's telegraphing. She's throwing like wide left hooks and overhands and stuff. And I'm like, if Irena keeps throwing a jab and coming with a right hand, or like she can catch her with something. I thought she might catch her. I thought it would, keep going. Then maybe it might be a close decision. She'd get taken down, and then she'd outbox her. But yeah, when she landed that left hook, I was like, man, because she was going for that a lot in that round. She landed some left hooks to the body too. She just timed it beautifully. She
So
saw it
pretty.
coming.
So
She saw
pretty.
she saw it coming, and Kitlin did not. Cause man,
Oh,
she
Jesus.
made that poor girl cry. Like she just yeah, that was a weird sight. That was a
She's
yeah.
down for a while.
Did you watch the thrill and the agony?
No, I didn't.
Oh man, she was beating herself up so bad. It
Oh,
was tough to watch. And like you know what? Usually like I try to be fair with the women too. Like, hey, come on, don't fucking be like that, you know. But I really did feel for Caitlyn because I'm like, man, she hasn't fought in almost 2 years, and she comes back to this. She was still the top contender, you know, and then she comes back to this, a fight that a lot of people favored her to win. But it's like, hey, man, you got caught. It happens. It
mhm.
happens. And if people didn't know Aldana hit hard, I've known that she was a hard hitter from the jump, and I think people that got lost on a lot of people, but I've known that for a very long time. But I was very happy. I did scream, and I was very happy because I finally felt I was like, man, I basically always cheer for Irene. I think the only time I didn't cheer for her is when she fought Leslie Smith, and it's just it was good to see because I felt like almost every time oh yeah, look at this girl, she's badass, look she's gonna do this and that, and she never followed up, she never followed through. Like the Pennington fight, I was like, man, this is her moment, she's gonna do it, and then she kind of shit the bed, and that kept happening to her. Like when she first got in the UFC, she had like 2 or 3 losses in a row. She righted the ship, and I was like, I wonder if she's just ever gonna get it together, and now she got it in spades.
It's like brilliant performance. It's so pretty. I'm so happy for her. What do you think is next for her, though? Do you think it's her or Aspen?
Yeah, those. I mean, I think those are the only two options. Is Nunes or Lad. I mean, Aspen looked impressive too. She finished Kunitskaya a few weeks back, but
Not the way Aldana did it.
it's it's
You know they'll
it's
throw those highlights, man.
yeah. I don't know. It's weird because I don't know what I want and I don't know what's gonna happen.
Might be too soon.
I for both of them, like I don't know if I can say that Irene deserves it more than Aspen, or Aspen deserves it more than Irene. But I don't know if it's fair to say that they need to fight each other too. Like it's kind of a weird situation where I don't feel that either choice is the right one. But I'm also not gonna be mad. Like I'm not gonna be mad if Lad gets it over Irene or Irene gets it over Lad, or if they end up fighting each other because yeah, something needs to be done. It's just with Irene, it's just that knockout was so impressive. It's like it's kind of like like when Masvidal knocked out Askren, it was like people were clamoring for him to get the title shot next. People forgot about Leon Edwards and Colby Covington and all these guys because of the spectacular knockout. Like I think it's similar to that situation. It's like, hey, but what about this guy? What about in this case? What about Lad?
Yeah,
Because
it
that's the
might
other
happen.
thing. Yeah, that's the other thing is that Irene is coming off another win with Vanessa Mello too, but that was the last minute opponent, and it was kind of a not so impressive decision, And then before that, she lost to Pennington, so yeah, it's a weird thing. You can't really pick one over the other. So yeah, maybe they should fight, but that's not necessarily what I want. But I'm not gonna cry about it either.
I think that's a good call that they fight each other.
Yeah, and
That
then
was
but
good.
then Nunes, like, what is she gonna do?
Wait for somebody to win with those featherweight fights coming up.
Yeah, so okay, so everything's kind of bleeding into one another here, but yeah, that will be in the matchup segment, and we will talk about that. So yeah, maybe you do have a good point. So we will resume with Nunes in the near future. So yeah, so let's talk about Volkanovski and Holloway. I guess a controversial decision. I thought the right person won. I do think the guy that scored it 50-45 for Volkanovski is a fucking moron, but I think it was one of the most impressive game plans I've seen in a very, very long time. I know Holloway lost to Dustin Poirier earlier this year, and he'd lost to him, earlier on in his career. But I think what Eugene, I always forget his last name. I think it's Behrman, the city kickboxing coach, coach of him and Israel Adesanya. I think that guy's a genius, man. I think that guy gets it. in ways that very few coaches do. And I think he studied Max for hours and hours and hours to implement the game plan that Volkanovski utilized in that fight.
And he made it tough for him. That's for sure. Like he was tearing his leg apart. Like just completely slowed him down. Did he win all 5 rounds though? Did Alexander win all five in your
On
opinion?
No, not to me. That's what I said. The judge that scored a 50-45 is an idiot. He did not win all 5 rounds. I think Holloway did win. I forget which ones. I think I gave Holloway the fifth, and I think like the fourth or the third. One of the later rounds, because the first rounds he did not look good. I think it was the third and fifth that I gave him. He did not win all 5 rounds. That's for sure. But that doesn't take away anything with how good his performance was. It was a close fight, but that doesn't mean it was all that competitive. You can have a close fight and not have and it be competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in a championship fight, because especially with Holloway, with how established he was and how respected he was, you kind of give him a little extra credit, but you can't take away with what Volkanovski did. He's an incredible fighter. He's very physically gifted, but he's also very smart and he understands the little things as much as he does the big things. And that's something that's so rare. You don't find that in fighters. Like Amanda Nunes is kind of like that too, but she relies so much on athleticism. She doesn't always do that.
Hmm.
But there's very few fighters that get the big parts of the game as well as they do the little parts of the game, and that's why Volkanovski was successful is because he was able to see those little things, and he followed his coach's game plan to a T, and that's why he got the win.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch it right now again. Well, as we talk about this, but I heard
No,
somebody else say like I give it all to like Alexander, and I'm like, really? Huh,
no,
okay.
I don't. I don't. I That's the thing of like you're paying too much attention as to what Volkanovski's doing and not to what Max is doing. Like that, you're kind of
Hmm.
looking at. That's probably a person that wanted Volkanovski to win, or he's a fan of his. Holloway did some good shit in that fight. He was still Holloway, but he was like 20% of what he usually is.
Yeah, his output wasn't as much
Well, this is the
to
what was so
me.
brilliant. This is what was so brilliant. I think I tweeted after that fight too. Was that I don't remember a fight where a leg kick was used so much, but not so much as far as damage. Yeah, Holloway was limping a little bit, and definitely it hurt him and it affected him. But Volkanovski wasn't using leg kicks to like hobble him. He wasn't using them the way that Edson Barboza or like Jose Aldo in his prime used them. He was using them to disrupt Max, especially those inside leg kicks. Those are really annoying, and those throw you off balance, and they kind of make you scared to come forward because you know it's coming your way. It's like you're getting whipped. You know, it's just like whoosh, whoosh. It just keeps coming to you. And he was using it almost as a jab. That's what people do with jabs. Like, hey, you come forward, I'm gonna pop you in your face. I'm gonna swell up your eyes, and I'm gonna fucking clock you in the nose if you keep coming forward. And it gave Holloway that trepidation of like, yeah, I'm doing my scared that I'm gonna get knocked out. Not really. But then that's the thing is that he'd get really courageous at times and start coming forward. And yeah, he landed. But there was other times where Volkanovski fucking swang at him, and sometimes he landed and sometimes he didn't. But it let Holloway know too, like, hey, don't think I'm just gonna leg kick you all day. I can fuck you up too. So it was brilliant that he used those little things of the leg kicks and the jabs and the little feints to keep him at bay. But when he would come close, he was not scared to throw down with him. And then all the shit talking that they would do back and forth, like he let him know, like, I'm the challenger, but I'm not here just for you to beat me. Like I'm trying to win. I'm gonna beat you. And I thought that was brilliant. Like everything he did, I literally can't say one bad thing about it. Like he fought perfectly, even though he didn't win every round, in my opinion, and even though he got socked up at times, he fought perfectly. He did something that no one's been able to do. Not like that. No one's been able to do it like that to Holloway.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Max's attitude as well is just amazing. Even
I
after this defeat, like he's probably like relieved a little too. He can take a break.
Yeah, and you know what? I also think that he knows he's a good fighter, but I think he's also kind of, I wouldn't say he's sick of all the accolades because he's earned them. But I'm still with this man. I love Max Holloway, as I've said on this podcast. He's maybe my favorite fighter, if not my second favorite fighter. I love the dude. He is not the best featherweight of all time. He's not. And I don't know what it is with Joe Rogan. I know it's not just Joe Rogan. There's other people that maybe it's just people following him. Maybe it's people saying it and he's just following them. I don't know. But he's the one that's saying it the loudest. This whole thing of the current champion, whatever the champion is, being the best ever is driving me fucking insane. And I think Max Holloway knows that. I think Max Holloway knows that he wasn't the best featherweight ever. And I think he was just like, look, let me just he's still young, man. He's still trying to figure himself out. He can still come back easily. A rematch with Volkanovski does not mean he's gonna lose. Like there was a close fight, and he can readjust. He's that smart and he's that able. But I think he was just having this thing like, fuck, like I'm not the best ever. Like I can be there. I want to get there, but all these people saying I'm the best, like fuck. Like I think yeah, the heavy lies the crown thing is probably really strong with him. Like man, I don't want to wear this shit because I know I'm not the best, not yet.
True, and he probably wanted or needs like a spark again. I was figuring like maybe he likes wants to I don't know like a renewed focus again because his like attitude is just like yeah it is what it is. I'll be back. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that he'll come back stronger than ever.
And
I
that's a
mean
sign of
everybody
a
says it all the time, but with
yeah,
him it's like
you believe it.
I believe it because just the way he's carrying himself. Like yeah, I've had all these title defenses.
That's the sign of a great champion. Like Demetrius Johnson, when he lost, he was like, "Hey, he got Cejudo beat him. Like, hey, he got his this time. It's cool. Like I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yep.
gonna be with my family. It's cool. It's no big deal." And Holloway definitely has that similar mindset. What I was gonna say was with about the champs stuff. I saw people before the Israel Adesanya fight saying that Robert Whitaker was the best middleweight ever. I'm like, did you fucking forget Anderson Silva? Joe Rogan also with Tyron Woodley before he lost to Usman that he was the best welterweight ever. I'm like, what the fuck are people talking about? What are they talking about? Do people forget who G is? And I know I don't want to sound like the old guy that because these are the people that grew up. And Reen, I think you could back me up on this. I think this new generation of fans, and I obviously Joe Rogan is not a new generation of fan, but I think he's trying to like kind of say what people want to hear. I
Yes.
think some of this new stuff is like nobody is really respecting how valuable and how important and how amazing it is to defend your belt multiple times. Yeah, Holloway did it. Holloway has defended it a few times. Not as much as Jose Aldo. Not as much as Anderson Silva. Not as much as GSP. Those guys were so dominant that we were getting bored. And that's the thing is that we took that for granted because it was like, oh God, well, who's gonna beat him? Oh God, who's gonna? When Chris Weidman knocked out Anderson Silva, like that was a thing that we talked about for weeks, not days, weeks, because it was that amazing. Because we couldn't believe it because we thought we would be old people and Anderson Silva would still be champion. Obviously, we knew that wasn't realistic, but in our hearts, that's how we felt. So when it happened, you're like, "Holy shit! It finally happened!" Like as cool as it was to see Conor McGregor get choked out by Nate Diaz, it pales in comparison to Chris Weidman knocking out Anderson Silva because that was to me to this day still the most shocking finish in MMA history. Because I was even going for Weidman. I genuinely thought that he would beat Anderson, but not like that.
Yeah, it's a trend, man. You know how it is. It's entertainment. They'll say what
Yeah,
they have a list of stuff that they need, they need to talk about.
TJ Dillashaw too. Like I know everyone's all shitting on him because of the EPO stuff, but they were saying that he was the best bantamweight ever compared to Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz had one loss, and he avenged it. And then yeah, of course he lost to to Cody Garbrandt, but that was his first loss in what, like 10 years or something.
Right.
How
Yeah.
can you not give Dominic Cruz credit? Yeah, I know he got hurt. Yeah, I know he hasn't been. Look at his fucking record. And
Yep.
then the one guy that I'm looking at that I'm like, okay, this is undeniable. This is probably the best heavyweight ever. Stipe Miocic. People are just like, Fedor's still better. Cain Velasquez who fucking beat like three people. Get the fuck out of here.
They
I
just
don't
hate
get it.
him, that's all. Just the way he talks. They just hate him.
But like
That's different.
look
That's
at the people
hatred.
he's beat. Look at the people he's beat. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable. The
it
only
is.
guy to ever defend his belt three times.
Yes.
Lost
And
to Cormier and beat his ass in the next fight. Knocked out Verdum dead. Knocked out Overeem dead. Knocked out Arlovsky. That like
mhm.
beat up and got like Jesus Christ, man. What more do you want from the guy? But
That was a tough fight too with Francis.
oh my god, I'm just going off.
Insane.
I'm just going off on tangents right now. I'm sorry, but
It's all good.
that I know I'm trying to stay on point with Holloway because I really do think that probably got to him because it's just like, dude, let me be me. I think he's still weird. Like I'm a young guy, man. I'm not trying to retire in 2 years.
Right.
I'm trying to do all kinds of shit and like let me build my legacy. And people are like, he's the best ever. When he needs to go up and fight Khabib. It's cool that he took that fight with Poirier. I don't take anything away from him, and he went back down and maybe he'll come back to lightweight. Some people are saying that too, that he'll probably go to lightweight after this because it's like, well, set yourself a new challenge. Holloway's the type of guy to do that, but he's a young guy, man. He needs to figure it out for himself. So okay, so that was that with the title fights. I guess that was it. So speaking of greats, Jose Aldo. So I'll just start with the most basic question:
Fuck.
did he get robbed?
Fuck. Well, I just want to back up a little bit. He looked great.
Yeah.
That whole like weight cutting, those pictures look horrendous, but once he got some water, like somebody like watered him like a fucking plant, because he really looked bad. He looked dehydrated. Even before this weight cut, like I'm like, what happened to you? Like, where's your fat? Like, if like pinch you, like there's nothing but skin. Like that's like it looked horrible. Anyways, just the way he looked once he was in there with Marlon, like he looked great. He looked fucking awesome. He was pressuring him, which he didn't do with Alexander. I was surprised to see that. I thought he was going to have a tough time with Marlon. Just going down in weight and whatnot. But damn, man, he looked fucking good. He didn't do any leg kicks though, which I don't understand why. Like, do you understand why he didn't go for any leg kicks?
Aldo hasn't really been using leg kicks as of late. The last time I remember him using them was against Holloway in the rematch, and that was like 6 of them. Like it really wasn't much. I think he's just. I kind of think he's just gotten in this like Floyd Mayweather style of like mindset. Not saying that he's all defensive. Not saying obviously he's still exciting. Obviously he can still put on the pace. He can still. I mean, he fucking lunges for some of his punches nowadays. But who was it with? Was it Chad Mendes? There's one of his more recent fights that he broke his foot throwing kicks and it was like been in like the past 2 or 3 years, and I feel like whenever that fight was after that happened, that he stopped throwing them as much, and I think he's just kind of try to focus on his boxing.
Mm,
I don't know if he thinks they're too risky, or maybe he's got more foot injuries or knee injuries than we're aware of, and he's just like, I don't want to risk it so much anymore. That's the reason why Mayweather's thing wasn't just like, oh, I don't want to get hurt. A big thing of what he didn't want to hurt was his hands, because he would break his hands all the time when he was young and he was fucking aggressive. He would break his hands all the time. So he figured out, hey, if I focus on defense and just throw my hands every once in a while, I'm probably not gonna break them. So I kind of think that's the thing with Aldo and his kicks. Like, he's probably scared of injuring himself because of how hard he throws. So
yeah.
I kind of think that's what it is. And then another thing in this match in particular, I think he knows Moraes can kick just as hard, if not harder than him. Like, do you really want to play that game with him? It's
Well,
one thing when you know you have the advantage, but with this guy, like, you probably don't.
yeah. I don't know. I
I
thought,
mean, you saw that head kick in the beginning. I mean, Jesus Christ, you know you were scared shitless.
yeah. I mean, he threw a couple of them, so I mean, he didn't hesitate at all. But it's just like, man, if you're in front of him like that and you keep on cutting him off, maybe like just fire off a couple like kicks, like front kicks. Like you don't have to whip it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just keep him at bay and keep him guessing. And he did none of that. So he still looked impressive.
yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. All those knees too. That was another very good weapon. He hasn't used those either. I'm telling you, I think it's like just the thing of like don't use your legs unless absolutely necessary.
Hmm.
I don't know. I was kind of concerned for Aldo in the first round because yeah, the head kick. I didn't think he had recovered from that like the whole round. I thought like man, he still may be dazed. And then
Hmm.
that takedown at the end, like he looked kind of sloppy. I was like, damn, people don't take Aldo down, but he got taken down in a really sloppy way. But yeah, in the second and third, he looked really good. It was impressive that he was pressing forward because that's not usually what he does. But I think he realized against a guy like Moraes, you kind of have to do that because the more space
Hmm.
you give him, the more of a problem he is. So yeah, he
Hmm.
did very good. I think he won the fight. Am I surprised he lost? No, I'm really not. Doesn't make the decision right, but I wasn't surprised that they gave it to Moraes. I was only a little bit surprised because I'm like, man, Aldo's the legend, Aldo's the more well-known name, and I feel like with judges sometimes they put a little bit more into that. So I thought like Aldo's probably gonna get the decision, even he deserves it and everything, but he's probably gonna get the decision because he's the more well-known fighter. But I guess that didn't play into his hands this time.
Well, even though he lost, he's still gonna get what he wants.
Well, it definitely seems like it.
Yeah, especially now that Cejudo gave up his other belt.
Yeah,
So
and
he'll give
we're
it
gonna
to
talk about that
Jose.
in a bit too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. Um, so Peter Yan and Uriah Faber.
I love that fight.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit, man. It's always a good night when you get to see Yan fight.
Mad props to Faber for even taking the fight and for goddamn even hurting Yan on an occasion or two. But Jan's something else, man. I said like there's Russians and people say Russians are a different type of people and they are, but Jan is a special kind of Russian. Even amongst
Right?
Russians, he's like even Russians are like, damn boy, you're fucking crazy. That dude
Fucking
is something else.
savage. Like, constantly in your face. He does not let up. He's smiling. He's talking shit. Insane. Just so fast. God, I love him. I just love his style. Like, ever since that Dotson fight.
And the way he hits people is like something else.
Hmm. So fast. All kinds of weapons.
Yeah,
I knew it was gonna he's gonna lose, I knew Faber was gonna lose, but like damn,
he made it a fight.
damn. It was good. It was a good fight.
And then the finish, it was crazy because I've seen a lot of times where people go for kicks and end up getting the knee and they
Hmm.
knock him out like that. But this is the opposite. He was going for a knee and then ended up knocking out with a kick. It was like almost like an accidental knockout.
Yeah, poor Uriah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I
I
mean,
mean, like, I was talking about it to one of the coaches. I'm like, it's nobody wants to fight that kid, man.
yeah. Oh, you're
Nobody. It's
right.
gonna be a
Well,
tough one.
I didn't hear an interview, but I heard Uriah say something, or somebody was saying about how Uriah said something like he wanted to come back and just fight the guys that nobody wanted to fight. I'm like, God damn, the ball's on you, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Most people, I no, don't, nobody wants to fight at your age, but if they do, like, hey, let me come back for a big money fight. Let me try and get Conor. Let me try and get Aldo. Let me try and get these legends. Like, nah, I want to fight the tough young motherfuckers that nobody wants to fight. Like, you have to respect that.
Mhm.
That's incredible.
That's so gangster.
Yeah, yeah, that's some shit right there. But yeah, poor Uriah. And I give props to Dana for saying at the end, like, look, Uriah's, good fighter. He's a legend. He doesn't need to do this, but it's kind of like right now you got to ask yourself why. Like, why are you stepping back in there? Like, that's something he needs to talk about with his family and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's a good point. And
Seriously.
he brought it up. But
I mean, just the way he looked after that fight.
yeah.
He has a beautiful baby girl. That baby's so cute. I don't know if you've seen any like videos or pictures of her, but
No, I rarely keep up with the fighters' like personal lives. I know you do. I usually tend to go with you with that stuff because you usually let me know. Like you told me about Nate Diaz's girlfriend. I had no idea about her. And then and the kid. I was like,
yeah.
yeah,
He's, he's
I
cool.
I kind of stay out of that.
Yeah, he don't need to do all that.
Yeah.
No more brain damage. Don't do it.
And the two last fighters I want to talk about is Jeff Neal and Brandon Moreno. Um, Jesus Christ, like how long till Jeff Neal becomes champion? Honestly.
God damn, dude. I'm so glad that he's done being a server. He's done with that
Oh,
job. So
really?
yeah. So he
Nice.
he's not doing that anymore. So he's
He was
like
about
training.
he was about to fuck someone up. That's why.
I think so, because he's just like, yeah, I'm just a little over it, I
Well,
gotta
he looks
step
like a
away from
really
it.
nice guy. Yeah. That
Yeah,
God, the patience on that man to do that job and fight.
right? Put all that time in, and he has a family.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought he had a family, so it's like, yeah, where do you have the time to do all this? So that's good that he gave that up, and he's just fucking improving.
It's a
But
hustler, man.
but man, like Perry shouldn't have taken that fight, but I mean, props to him for stepping
That's
in.
Perry. That's what he does.
Yeah, man, like that fucking like fight was brutal. His nose was all fucked up, and
Yeah, he broke it again, didn't he?
I think so.
He's gonna be the next Rory MacDonald, ain't
Yeah,
he?
but
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I never really cared for him before, but he just every time he fights now, man, like he impresses me. Like he's that guy that he'll step in anytime. He'll
Oh,
take a
Mike
fight.
Perry?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
He's that guy. He'll take a fight. He's improving. He's trying to be more technical instead of just a straight up brawler. But I mean, how could you not brawl with Neil?
It was kind of his only shot because I mean Mike Perry still hits hard. If you don't think Mike Perry could have knocked out Jeff Neal, you're sorely mistaken. But that's how
Mm-hmm.
good Jeff Neal is. He's like, nope, you ain't getting me. You're not getting me there.
Yep.
And
So
and those leg kicks. I mean, and those high kicks. I don't think there's anyone that throws them better. Maybe Moraes, maybe Marlon Moraes, and that's about it. Probably the only one that throws high kicks better than Jeff Neal. Fucking amazing.
yeah. So
And
good
then
for him.
And then Brandon Moreno. If I was happy about Atlanta, man, I'm so happy with Moreno. That I think I tweeted after the fight after those two fights, like I've never been so happy to be Mexican, man. That fucking
Sorry.
that fucking little Tijuanero, he fights like a fucking exactly what he is, a fucking kid from Tijuana, a fucking little street kid, man. That boy will fuck you up, man. I love the way he fights. I love that he's so authentic that he's not trying to do this bravado Mexican stuff. That's who he fucking is, man. He knows no other way. He's just a tough, scrappy kid. That's all he does. He just scraps. I fucking love it. And against Kai, this is Aldana Vieira was just like that too. I'm like, look, I love Aldana. I've loved Aldana forever. I can't go against her, but I really respect and love Vieira too. And I've loved Moreno for a while too, but I've probably been a big Kai Kara fan for longer. So I'm like, hey, whoever wins this fight, it's cool. Same thing with Alana and Vieira, but I'm like, hey, just a bonus that both the Mexicans won. That's pretty fucking dope, man. And Brandon Moreno's top five. He's a top five guy for me now. The favorite fighter. Like I'll never miss his fights ever again.
You know me. I'm a Kai Car France fan, and just this was an amazing fight because I like Moreno too. I mean, he was out of the UFC and he came back, and look at him. He made like to me he made Kai look like an amateur almost.
It was a close fight. Kai was doing good, but it's like it's rare you see that kid take a step back.
Yes.
And yeah, he was still landing. It was a close fight, but Moreno was just saying "fuck you."
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Like cuz Kai would be the one doing that shit.
Yeah,
It was the other way around, and to see that I'm like, "Holy shit, man. Fucking amazing."
he's something else. He's something
Right?
else. There's something in that Tijuana water. It's probably all that lead from all those bullets and shit from the cartel.
Or they're just I don't know, man. They're like, "Fuck it." We're on the same card as Colby, all right.
Dude, I didn't even think about that. Not just that Colby got his jaw broken and lost. Fucking the two Mexicans won, man. Because it was a funny thing seeing on Twitter. I seen a lot of black people were so psyched that coming to life. I saw a lot of people that were psyched, but it seemed like the black followers I have and the people I follow were like more psyched about it than anyone. But I was like, man, Mexicans should be more happy than anybody too, because fuck, both the Mexicans won in a spectacular fashion.
Hey man.
And not those fake Mexicans like Cain Velasquez, the real
You're
beans, you
saying
know?
that shit's so funny. That fake
Yeah.
Mexican.
Yeah. And I say this as a fake Mexican. I wasn't born in Mexico. I'm not one of them. I'm I'm here. I'm a privileged American, you know. But yeah, I was very happy. That was a fun night. So yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up here as far as the preview goes because we can probably be here for another hour talking about this shit. But let's get into the preview of UFC Busan happening Saturday morning. First up, Saeed Nurmagomedov is gonna fight Raoni Barcelos. I, I I'm not too sure about how to say his first name. I think it's Raoni. Um, Barcelos, I would actually have a tough time remembering his name. I would always just call him Mini Aldo because I remember his first fight in the UFC. He knocked the fuck out of some dude, and he reminded me so much of Aldo, and he kind of looks like him too. I've been high on this kid since he came in the UFC, and both of these guys have been undefeated in the UFC. They have similar records. Obviously, the other guy is a Nurmagomedov, so you know what he brings to the table. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Barcelos here just because I've been a bigger fan of his. I know Saeed is an impressive fighter in his own right, but I don't know. I haven't seen too many people that are gonna beat Barcelos as of yet. At least not until he gets to the upper echelon of the division.
Yeah, I was looking at like the records and whatnot because I wasn't sure which one to go with. But yeah, Barcelos has been like the active fighter, and yeah, they finally rebooked this fight. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Barcelos too.
You're going Barcelos, okay.
Yeah,
Uh, Another fight we wanted to highlight, a flyweight fight, because now there seems to be some life in the division, quite a bit of life, as we're going to talk about in the near future right now. Alexander Pantoja, who we're big fans of here on the show, is going to fight Matt Schnell, who really impressed me ever since his submission of Louis Smolka. This is going to be a very interesting fight. Pantoja's another guy who's just a scrapper, and Schnell's got an amazing ground game. So I don't know if this is going to stay on the feet or go to the ground, but I think either way it's going to be pretty exciting because Pantoja's a scrapper, but he's still good on the ground. So I think based on that, I'll go with Pantoja, but I'm not going to count out Schnell because I know he's very dangerous.
yeah, I gotta go with Pantoja too. I gotta go with the vet man, even though I think they're the same age.
Yeah,
But
Pantoja's pretty young. I don't remember how young he is, but I don't even think he's 30. I think
yeah,
he's probably like 26, 28.
yeah, and like Pantoja's like he's fought like the top of the food chain. So
Hey, he beat Moreno. I think twice too. He beat him.
yeah, Schnell, I like Schnell. He's kind of cute too.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
bet. Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, white boy
yeah.
looks like he's 12 years old. Yeah, I know. I know your style.
But yeah, anyways,
It's okay.
Pantoja.
I don't judge you.
Thanks, man.
Co-main event: Volkan Ozdemir and Alexander Rakic. This is low key one of the most violent fights they booked in a while. Honestly, um, Ozdemir, shit, that was his last knockout. Was his last win the knockout over Latifi? That fucking left hook.
Yes,
And
that's
then
right.
Rakic has basically a knockout of the year contender with his head kick of Manoa.
Oh, he retired Manoa.
Yeah, this shit is gonna be all out violence, man. I mean, fuck. This one I honestly haven't even thought about. Like I've thought about how crazy it could be, but I have not
Hmm.
thought about who could legitimately win. So I think I'll let you go first on this one.
Damn, I like Osamir. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Osamir.
Oh, he is the more established guy. I mean, he fought
Yeah.
for the title. He fought DC. He knocked out Manoa. Well, I mean, they both did, but Ozdemir did it first when he
Well,
was the top contender.
right. And
But
that he knocked out Manoa. I mean, yeah, it was great. It was a great knockout, but it's Jimmy Manoa.
yeah, the 2019 version.
It's so bad.
Yeah, yeah, but
Um,
still, like that man, it was when I know that wasn't his UFC debut. I think he had like two fights before that in the UFC, but god damn it, he made such a statement, like everyone was just immediate fear when they saw that one. Um,
that is true. Yeah.
you know what? I have faith in Ozdemir, but I'm not gonna go with my gut. I'm just gonna be a little ballsy with this one. I'll just go with Rakic. I think he can do it. It won't be easy, but I think he can do it.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, he has an impressive win streak. I mean, 12 fights. He's only lost like his first one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Crazy.
Um,
Crazy. Cool,
and
man. Oh,
of
well, are you going to be up at 2 a.m. in the morning to watch all this?
Fuck no, man. I've had a lot to deal with lately. And this is as a well, yeah, getting into it. Frankie Edgar and Korean Zombie. These may be two of my favorite fighters ever. Frankie Edgar's for sure top five. Korean Zombie is just. I mean, you're not an MMA fan if you don't like Korean Zombie. Just plain and simple. There's nobody who gets universal praise. Nobody. Even Max Holloway has haters. Israel Adesanya has haters. Fucking Wiley Zhang has haters. Everybody has haters. Korean Zombie's the one guy where I think he does not have haters.
I
And it's
think
and
you're
it's
right.
crazy because there's a lot of racist MMA fans, but nobody gives a shit about. Everyone becomes Korean when this motherfucker fights. It's awesome. And in this case, it's as far as rooting, I don't know who to root for because Frankie's been my boy since day one, but I mean Korean Zombie kind of has been too. But like technically speaking and analyzing the fight, I think Frankie still got it. I don't think the Holloway fight took a lot out of him. I think he should be able to win, but I'm not gonna be surprised if Korean Zombie fucking turns the lights out.
Yeah. In his hometown. Was it his hometown?
I don't know if it's his hometown.
No. He's
It's in
born
South
in
Korea.
Seoul. Yeah, he's born in
Yeah,
Seoul, but that's his territory, man. And Frankie's stepping in, what, a month notice, right?
I think less.
3 weeks notice?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, he was preparing for Ortega, so, but yeah, he's a vet. I just don't understand it though. He's still like scheduled to fight Sanhagen.
Yep. He says he's gonna, and that's the thing. That's why I kind of think he might win too. That's why I'm leaning with him. That I think since he's so determined to fight Sanhagen and make that weight cut, I mean, Frankie's knocked people out, but he's not really a one hitter quitter. So I think he's just gonna go the wrestling route. I think he's gonna try and do to him what he did to BJ Penn, just take down, take down, take down, beat the fuck out of him on the floor, get your money and go home.
God damn. That would be an amazing story if he went to Korea and beat Korean Zombie. Comes back home, what, a month later and beats Sanhagen. And then he's like right there.
It'll also just be just like the weird irony that he's going in to replace Ortega, where Ortega's the one that stepped in to fight him and knocked him out, a few years ago.
Crazy story, man.
Yeah. So that'll be, I guess, not revenge, but I guess a weird form of justice. Like, well, I'm gonna take out the guy that you wouldn't fight. So there's that.
Bitch. Sorry. I had to look on his
Well,
face, on my face. We're
I know
talking
you
about
did.
Brian.
One day this will all come to light, people. It's not for today. It's not for today, and
Man,
you will know one day.
I didn't think I was going to talk about him or even like
No, I made a point to
comment.
bring him up. I made a point to bring him up.
You did that on
Yeah, I
purpose.
did.
It's just funny, man.
Because I can see
Bitch.
it. I'm not in front of you, but I can see your face just like grinding your teeth and shit. And I'm just like, it's kind of making me laugh inside.
Dude, man, you do know me because I'm like looking at his name. I'm like, yeah, cancel out my ass. I'm like thinking in my head, like, you bitch.
Oh, God.
Anyways, let's move on.
Yes.
I spent too much
This is
time
what
on that.
happened. This is what happens when you have some kind of connection in MMA and things come to light. And yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a subject for another day. So,
Whew.
you got Edgar or Zombie in this one?
Korean zombie.
Korean Zombie. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm
Gotta go
not
with the Asian, right?
confident. Yeah, and I'm not confident. Yeah, definitely. I like Korean barbecue.
And they made South Carolina seem
Serve you,
accepting, right? When especially
right?
when you weren't there.
Jeez, damn, dude.
So that does it for the preview. Let's get into some headlines. There's not too many news stories, but they're all kind of big. So I guess we'll go from bottom to top of the biggest, from smallest to biggest. One of the smaller news stories was a PFL fighter, Alex Nicholson, has been suspended 4 years from the Nevada State Athletic Commission because he tested positive for three fucking steroids, three separate steroids, and these are not. I kind of like the story because it's not good that someone tested positive, but I'm glad that this is just an idiot who was just juicing up to the fucking gills. That was the thing about for you newbies and for people that came in post USADA, when you tested positive for a test back in the day, it just meant that you were a fucking moron. Aside from that, you were a cheat. You were a fucking moron because a lot of these guys were taking like just straight up illegal back alley steroids, and that's exactly what Alex Nicholson did. And then if you've seen his physique, I never paid much attention to him because I didn't watch the PFL too much. And then I see him like, God damn, that dude was fucking jacked.
Really, I didn't see his picture. What's
Yeah,
his name?
he looks like he was on the prisoner diet. Like he looks like he just came out of prison. Like
Wow.
he looks like he was remember when Anderson Silva tested positive and everyone started talking about his trainer?
Yeah.
He looks like he's been training with Anderson Silva's trainer.
Oh shit,
He looks
man.
that juicy.
Damn. All right.
Yeah,
Well, what took
just
them so long to catch this motherfucker? Then I'm kidding.
well, I mean, I don't think he was ever that big. Like I think he used to fight in the UFC.
Hmm.
And I think I've seen him and like, yeah, he was a big guy, but he wasn't like super imposing. But
Hmm.
yeah, seeing these pictures of him as late, like, god damn, like he just looks like he came straight out of prison, like straight up. And now I'm like, I'm glad that I could hate another fighter for using steroids, because honestly, ever since this whole USADA shit happened in the UFC, I can't really hate on any fighter because everyone's testing positive. Fucking Neil Magny's testing positive, and guys and girls who clearly don't look like they've taken anything, and it's all just a bunch of bullshit things that shouldn't even matter. Like, man, I can't be mad at you. You could be taking all the steroids you fucking want, but you test positive for all this bullshit. And I mean, while John Jones is getting all these freebies and stuff, like, man, I don't give a fuck about drug testing. Not in the USADA thing anymore, but when it comes to just the regular old Nevada testing, you're testing positive like this, fuck you. You're a piece of shit.
Right. I.
And I'm enjoying hating on you.
Yep. You deserve it.
So the next probably this, I don't know, I guess depending on where your take is on Rory MacDonald, this was one of the biggest stories of the week. Rory MacDonald's leaving Bellator. He's going to the PFL. Speaking of Alexander Nicholson and PFL, I didn't even know his contract was up. I don't know if I forgot something or were you aware of this, Reem?
No, I had no idea. So when I saw this on the docket, I'm like, huh? When did this happen?
I wonder if because he lost to Lima, so I wonder if because of that, like because he's no longer champion, they were trying to renegotiate, and I think that's when he just said, "Well, fuck it, I'm gonna see if I could get other offers." I don't know Bellator's things. I don't talk too much about their deals. They're like in the UFC, but I wonder if that's what happened because he lost the belt.
Well, I'm surprised that he's going this route.
Why?
Well, considering like he
The
wasn't
star.
really feeling it.
Oh,
You
well,
know, the
yeah.
fighting. Like now he's gonna be in this tournament.
Yeah, now you have to fight.
Right. So I didn't understand. Like, why
I
are
mean,
you putting yourself? putting yourself out there to be available.
I mean, I understand that he was basically the champion very early on, so he had to fight because contenders weren't going to wait for him. He needs to take on all contenders. So I understand that, but having lost the belt, you think you'd be like, all right, well, fuck it. Maybe I'll fight next year. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll take a year off. Maybe I'll get right back in the gym. I'll fight whenever I want. There's no obligation with me. I can fight
Hmm.
whenever I want. I can take as many fights or deny as many fights as I want, but the PFL, that don't happen. You decide on the dotted line, you better show up at that date and make weight. And if you get towards the end of the tournament, you're gonna fight two guys in one night. I understand you can win $1 million at the end, but I'm pretty confident that Rory has close to $1 million in his bank account. I mean, I know he's not rich or nothing, but I mean, he was in the UFC for a long time. He fought for a title. He was champion in Bellator. Like it's not like he's was making peanuts.
Yeah, and I thought he was making at least 400,000 with Bellator.
I'm sure close to that. If not exactly, I'm sure close to that.
Yeah, a fight. So, and I think he had 6 fights within what the past 2 years he's been in Bellator. So he's made some good money along with UFC. So yeah, when I heard about this, I'm like, is this worth the million? I mean,
I mean,
really?
technically, I guess you could do it faster. You could make it in a year instead of like 2 or 3 years, but it's a
Yeah.
fucking risky proposition, man. Look at all the people you thought would be badass in PFL, and all these nobodies are the ones that win the tournament. Shit, even Kayla Harrison, like that's the only one that we still don't know because she's gonna fight in a few weeks, but there's not really a guarantee that she's gonna win that tournament. She couldn't even finish Pacheco the first time, and Pacheco looked really good against Kaufman. Like I'm not gonna be that surprised if Pacheco wins.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
So
then even Sarah Kaufman, she looked like she was gonna win at least towards the end, and then she got her ass beat. Like shit, man, these tournaments are something else.
yeah, injuries, people
Yeah,
step in, and it's just so unpredictable.
Ray Cooper the
So
third, he was in and then out, and then that guy Curtis, what's his name, Chris Curtis. Like shit, man, all kinds of madness happens in these.
yeah, so just the way he's been acting, I was just surprised. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe this he was bored. He already had the belt, so he's going this round saying, "Hey, let me figure out what happens with this organization and have it under my belt, my legacy." That's
Yeah,
the only thing I can think of. I mean, like, damn, Rory, okay.
yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens. Definitely, this is a maybe, but maybe also that's another reason he took it is like, hey, maybe he thinks the way to get his hunger back. Like, hey, you need to fight like you're a hungry contender. And in the PFL, that's exactly what you are because they don't really give you special treatment. You have to win the tournament. You're no more special than unknown fighter in the blue corner.
Hmm.
So who knows? Maybe it is what he needs. Well, time will tell. Last headline though, going into the matchup segment as well. Uh, Breaking news a little before we started recording. Henry Cejudo has been stripped of his flyweight belt, and now Joseph Benavidez and Davison Figueiredo are going to fight for the vacant flyweight belt at UFC Norfolk, that's going to be the main event, it looks like, and that's taking place on February 29th. Um, I'm sure you're happy about my boy Cejudo getting stripped, Rain.
He's your boy?
Well, yeah, I told you that he makes me proud to be a Mexican, but at the same time he doesn't. So for the reasons that he's such a character, I love him and I hate him
Yeah. Well,
because
did
he's.
he get stripped or did he give it up?
It sounds like he got stripped. I haven't seen anything that he
Oh,
willingly gave it up.
okay.
But I think I'm assuming he probably had a conversation with Dana in the past few days. They're like, "Hey, when are you going to defend?" And he probably just said, "Hey, I'm not ready," or "My injury's worse than I thought," or something else came up, and they're like, "Fuck it, we got to
Yeah.
we got to strip you now.
I'm
It's
gonna
too
fight
long."
Jose.
And that too. Yeah, probably that too is like, well, fuck you, might as well do that. Yeah. I want to take a quick time out just to mention the tweet of the week because this came up as soon as the news got announced. So this is from a homie of the podcast, Ant Walker. He had a great tweet, very short one, but beautiful tweet. He put from thick to thick, and the first thick is THICCC. The second thick is THICC. From thick to thick, the Henry Cejudo story.
What?
It's just like it seems like it'd be a great title for his book because I don't know if you've seen the pictures of him lately. He ain't looking so muscular like he was.
I saw that.
He's on that Kelvin Gastelum diet.
Really? Well, I saw that recent video of him like praising Jose. So
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
yeah, I saw that video. But yeah, he's been hanging out with Calvin a lot, so I'm not surprised.
That's a degenerate. You don't want that guy. If you're a fighter, why would you hang out with Kelvin? He's just gonna fill your head full of bad ideas.
I wonder if he was with Calvin because he Calvin is coming back from Brazil. He's been in Brazil training.
Well, I
Yeah.
think they do share a manager, so yeah, those dudes seem to Valley Abdelaziz, they seem to fucking
Oh, that's
travel
right.
together. Yeah. But I saw Ant tweet that and I put never underestimate a Mexican's ability to gain the pounds and not finish the job that he started. So I gotta give him props to that because I would have never tweeted that if it wasn't for that first tweet of his. So congratulations, Ant. You get tweet of the week. Moving forward though, again to with the fight and whatnot. So I know you're happy you got stripped. This is clearly the right call to make, the right fight to make. These are the top two contenders. I guess. Well, just who do you think's gonna win? Because this is a hell of a fight.
Who again?
Joseph Benavidez and Davison Figueiredo.
Oh, Benavides.
You've seen Figueiredo fight, right?
Yes, I know.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but man, that's tough.
It's
Tough for
going to
anyone
be.
to pick against him.
I think so, but it's Benavides' time.
I
This
mean,
is no.
Jussier Formiga beat him, but I mean, I Benavidez beat Formiga, so I know that's MMA math, but he does have a similar style to Formiga,
Yeah,
plus striking. But who knows? Maybe that could work to his disadvantage because if he's trying to exchange with Figueiredo, you might wake up with a flashlight in your face.
true. So interested in this fight. Now we can finally get the flyweight division moving.
Yeah, it got revived. It sucked all the shit that had happened, the countless guys that got cut, and then of course DJ going to one. But hey, you needed a little new blood, and I think it's shit with Moreno and Figueiredo and some of these guys. It's just like yeah, it's exciting, man.
hmm I think
Kai,
that Moreno fight was the only fight that was like, yeah, at flyweight for 246.
five.
245, I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the only one. Yep.
yeah, I think so too. But man, it was one of the best fights of the night.
Right? So, see, that's saying something. They need
Yeah.
to do that more.
Yep. So that's probably the biggest matchup that's been announced lately. So let's go talk about some more matchups. And first, we'll start with a replacement. Angela Hill is replacing Brianna Van Buren. She pulled out undisclosed reasons. She's gonna fight Hannah Cyphers at UFC Raleigh. Um, I we like Brianna Van Buren on the show. I want to see her fight. Hannah Cyphers is a tough girl. Seems like she's one of those girls that's made to order for a girl like Van Buren. But Angela Hill is always the girl that's stepping up, and I think her and Cyphers make a good matchup. I don't know if it'll be super exciting, but Angela always comes to fight.
I love that about her.
Yeah. She's kind of like the cowboy of the of women's MMA.
She is,
She's
man.
always stepping up. And she
Yeah.
fights a lot. She usually fights like three, four, 5 times a year, and nobody ever talks about her.
No, she's always available. Good for her,
Yep.
right? But damn, it sucks for Brianna. I wonder what happened. I did try to like stalk her Instagram, but nothing. She hasn't posted anything,
Yeah, I
so
said undisclosed reasons, not even an undisclosed injury, undisclosed reasons. So who knows if, I don't know, some kind of family, business, personal stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully nothing bad, but she's young. She can take time off.
Right?
I'm not even mad at her regardless of what it is. As long as it ain't steroids. Don't be an
Yeah.
Alex Nicholson. Another fight booked at reported at UFC Auckland. Our girl Rachel Ostovich is supposed to come back against Shannon Dobson.
Who?
Yeah, that one girl, that Instagram girl.
What?
Come on, Rain.
She gonna wear her eyelashes?
Probably.
I'm not
Yeah.
trying to hate on her. It's just damn.
No, you're trying to hate on her.
Is she gonna pull out?
It's funny that
Sorry.
we never got an answer for that shit, did we? We're probably the
No.
only people remembering about that Veronica Macedo fight. Nobody gave a shit.
Of course
And
not. They're
and
too busy looking at her titties.
I
I mean, her beautiful face.
oh my god. That's the
What?
thing with her. It's the funniest thing. It's like, dude, it, it, I don't know. I would think people want to see her fight, but there's other priorities, I guess, when it comes to Rachel Ostovich. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, they look forward to watching them weigh in.
yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Jesus. Well,
Sorry.
I mean, this is one of these fights that for sure loser leaves town, right? Shannon Dobson hasn't looked impressive. Rachel definitely hasn't looked impressive. I mean, you gotta win some in the UFC. I know she's pretty and everything, but
This
you
dude,
gotta do more than post the pics.
I know you gotta be this great host, but for real, like we've been having cuts in the UFC. I'm over here like saying we again. The UFC they've been having cuts, but Rachel's still on the roster.
Oh, if you don't know this, I saw this too. I didn't want to bring it up because there's not much to add, but I guess now is a good time to bring it up. They just cut 11 people, and Lauren Mueller was one of them.
Oh God, what the? See? See the shit? Like, come on. Clearly, clearly. Come on, girl, you better show up to fight. I want to at least watch you fight.
And for okay, I know we've talked and I'm saying you DMs and all this stuff with you know how much I love Valerie Lareda, but and she is a very talented fighter from everything I've seen. Granted, she hasn't had many fights, but if she starts going this route, best believe I ain't gonna be such a big Valerie Lareda fan if she's more interested in the IG than she is in fighting. I like her for fighting first and foremost. She's a gorgeous woman, fucking love her to death. She's beautiful, but you're into fighting, you gotta fight. If you want to retire and do that, that's cool too. But pick one or the other.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. I'm not hating on anybody that's, making money. Stack it up. Do what you got to do. Especially like Rachel being a single mom. Do what you got to do. But
That's the
just all these cuts, I see all these, good fighters like getting cut and
that's your
they're winning.
meritocracy at work
Yeah.
again, and that's
Oh, God. Fuck, man.
yeah, I know.
Got me again.
It always gets you. That Asian work ethic, it fucking you can't help it.
God damn it. It's entertainment. It's entertainment.
Yes,
It's
yes.
about looks, booty,
Little
looks.
bit.
Okay.
The I guess with that we'll continue with some more female fights, and both are featherweight fights, both happening at UFC Norfolk. Megan Anderson is fighting again. She's fighting a newcomer, Norma Dumont, who looks like her Brazilian doppelganger. And Felicia Spencer's back. That is our girl. We love that chick. Is gonna fight Zara Fern Dos Santos, who is the girl that Megan Anderson just beat up a few months ago. So,
So
what do you
odd.
think of these?
It's so odd. When I saw that, I'm like, this is so odd.
What, both of them? Where which one?
Yeah, that she's fighting now Felicia. Like
Well,
Megan,
what,
like Felicia beat Megan.
what can you do?
Yeah. I mean, and then this new girl, I don't even know who this new girl is. She's
She's
4 and
4 and
0.
0. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, she's a cute girl. I'm like, okay, are they going with the cute angle or what's going on here? Like,
Well,
who
she
is she?
looks very similar to Megan.
Wow. And then I was trying to look up the women's MMA featherweight rankings because there's somebody's been doing the rankings on it, and I don't even see this normal girl on it at all.
Yeah, I
So
think I think since she hasn't fought yet, they're like not, jumping on that right now.
I don't get it, man. Like you're the women's MMA guru. Like, is there no girls coming up from Invicta that they can bring up
Yeah,
to the UFC?
they don't necessarily give a shit about pulling girls from theirs. That's all they do. I don't know why they're doing that. Most of the girls are in Bellator. I think that's the biggest problem, the featherweights anyway. My biggest problem though is that I'm gonna keep nagging the fucking girls in the UFC. Why aren't they going up? I've said it already. Macy Chiasson needs to go back up because not saying that loss was the fucking end of her career and that she shouldn't continue at bantamweight, but fuck it, give it a try. You'll be this close to a fucking title shot if you do. You just need to win one or two fights and you'll be there. And obviously Amanda wants to defend, so fucking give her a reason to. And then I think of someone else too, of Juliana Pena. I don't know why she hasn't gone up. She just had, she just fought a few months ago. She'd had the baby. Why make it hard on herself? Yeah, okay, she made the weight cut once, but why make it hard on herself? You're a mom. It's not gonna be as easy as it used to be. You're in your 30s now too. Just go up. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, you would trying to fight Nunes. You're gonna fight Nunes either way. Just go up and make it easier for yourself.
You know what? That's a good idea. I was just thinking about Lena, even though Lena's gonna fight Sarah McMahon. But like
Fucking
a girl like Lena Landsberg, like that 135 isn't her natural. She wasn't fighting at 135 in Muay Thai,
mm-hmm.
you
Yeah, and
know?
she fought Cyborg at was 140, and I mean Cyborg's a big girl, but yeah, she did it. Fucking Kat Zingano was going up to 145. I mean, and she left to Bellator, and she's still fighting at 145. So fuck, there's girls that are willing to do it, but I don't know why any of the girls in the UFC aren't willing to do it. Like, do them a favor and do yourselves a favor. It's a win-win.
I mean, at this point, right? If those girls that can't seem to make it up, you know,
Yeah.
up the ladder for 135, I mean, now there's this other division. You don't have to cut that much weight. It's still there,
Aspen
surprisingly.
Lad, I'm looking at you.
Like surprisingly, it's still there, and there's these two fights on the same card. Like, why didn't they spread it out? Whatever.
Well, then, who knows if someone gets hurt, maybe they can at least salvage one of them. Well, who knows?
I don't get it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't even know what to analyze here as far as the fights because it's like, well, it seems like it's supposed to be a win-win for Megan and for Felicia, but at that point, what, you rematch them and same shit happens all over again?
Right? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Or whoever wins, like, I guess violently, or
I guess it'd be better for Megan because at this point she'd be what? She just beat Dos Santos and then she'd beat this girl. She'd have a two-fight winning streak, which is more than anyone can say. And then Megan can't go down in bantamweight, so that's not an option for her. So I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to build Megan up.
that, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, but I mean, what can they do? It's not even like a favoritism thing. It's like, well, shit. What other choice do they have? They don't have
Yeah.
anybody.
Yana needs to move up.
Yana might be a good one too. Yeah, you got to look at just the big girls, like the girls that are clearly struggling to get down there. Just do yourselves a favor.
Yeah, because I mean, she just got beat by Aspen, so it's gonna be a while for her to even get a title shot.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. Yeah, and then oh yeah, Yana fought Cyborg at 145 too. It's like you gotta remember, like Cyborg ain't the big bad woman anymore. Like just fucking give it a try. You know. Um, and one more fight also for UFC Norfolk. Alex Oliveira is gonna fight Mickey Gall. And
What the? What?
Jesus Christ, I love Carlos Condit. We all know this. He was supposed to fight Mickey Gall. He pulled out. But to go from Carlos Condit to Alex Oliveira, oof,
Wow.
yeah.
What? Damn, do they want Gall out of the UFC?
I think so, man. I think they just really want like, hey, if you're gonna fucking do it, you better do it right now. I think that's what this means. I think that's why they did it.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a. I'm interested in seeing what happens and how it gets finished. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just see
I
him
mean,
finish. He's crazy. He's wild.
he
McDowell?
can submit Oliveira, but goddamn, his striking still ain't all there, and Oliveira is just a fucking madman. So
Exactly. It's
the odds are
crazy.
not in his favor, but I guess
Mm-mm.
anything could happen.
That's true. It is MMA, but
Yeah.
damn, I'm surprised about that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that does it for MMA. So let's go into our news segment of the week. And the headline is SoCal man posed for caricature, then stole from artist, police say. So this happened in Riverside.
Of
And
course. Just kidding.
do you know about Riverside? Have you been down there?
I haven't been out there in a while,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah.
I haven't even been to Riverside, so you know more than me. But yeah, this was one of those guys that does uh I guess it was a festival, and he was doing those paintings with the exaggerated features, the big eyes and big noses and big lips and stuff. And this guy was posing for the picture, trying to getting his portrait done. And he went up and he snatched like $500 from the guy, stole the money that he had made, which is terrible, infuriating, fucking sad. But of course, he didn't take the painting, so this artist has a painting of the guy who just stole from him. It, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, it's so dumb, but it's like, yeah, you can't make this shit up.
Yeah. It's sad that it was at like a festival of lights, like, bringing the holidays, the last, Christmas, family gathering. He's just trying to make extra cash and shit. Here, this, comes this person and snatches everything. What I don't understand is like, why did you keep so much money?
Yeah, the guy wasn't being smart about it. He's a little bit to be at fault here. Not that people should take your money.
No, of
Nobody
course
should do
not.
that. But yeah, he kind of yeah, you gotta keep that on you or something, man.
Right? You're out in the streets. Come on.
Yeah, and it's the holidays. Unfortunately, people are. It's not
Crazier,
necessarily the giving season. Sometimes it's the taking season.
right?
People are
People get
desperate.
crazier.
Yep, people are desperate. A lot of
Stupid.
pressure, a lot of money that you may not have, that a lot of people don't have.
Yep. Persons are expensive, man.
Yeah,
We've been
yeah.
having some issues up here and just in our little area. Just,
Snatching
just
boxes and stuff.
yeah, smashing boxes, like purses. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad. That's what happens during the holidays. So just watch yourself.
Maybe this is me being paranoid, or maybe this is just because I see way too much of this cancel culture type shit right now. But I kind of feel bad for this guy, aside from the fact that he got his money jacked. Um, it, I say this only because of this reason, that I feel that people are gonna have a weird reaction in maybe in a few days, weeks, years, if this becomes a bigger story. The guy that did it was black, and as I
Oh
said,
man.
this was a caricature thing. So they drew this guy with exaggerated features, and yeah, this if you see this with no context, this may look very racist. So I do wonder if this guy's gonna face some backlash about painting a black man with quote exaggerated features and doing a quote unquote racist portrait, even though that's his job and he was the one that was victimized here.
They will. They always do.
This will be fucked up, man. But you
It will
context
happen.
people, and that's the thing too. With a lot of these stories, there's no context. It's just like, oh, can you believe this guy drew this? Like, well, do you know what happened?
Yeah, somebody will be triggered. They'll be outraged.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I I hope nothing. I mean, I hope they catch this guy. I hope the guy gets his money back. Maybe not, but I hope he has some kind of justice. Uh, but yeah, hopefully nothing like that happens. And if it does, I'll be there to defend him for whatever that's worth.
You're gonna go to Riverside?
Nah, fuck no. It's too far of a drive. That's like 2 hours for me. Fuck that shit. There ain't nothing out there but dirt and meth anyway.
Too funny. Man, it's
Yeah.
been a while. Ow! Sorry. My knee just popped.
Oh shit. Well, then I think that's a sign better than anything to just we need to call it a night. It's been a long one. It's been a fun one though. We missed you guys. Sorry for not being there, but like I said, we both kind of had issues to address. So we're here for you now. And we did the review, we did the preview. We should be back next week. Next week is Christmas. Week after is New Year. Uh, I don't know when the episode will come out, but you can expect something. Most likely a best of awards, all that type of nonsense, and we'll probably try to get a guest on. So keep your eyes out. And if you guys regularly listen to this podcast and you do your own, keep your DMs open. Maybe you'll get an invite. So I want to thank you guys. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at juice_MMA. Reen?
Sorry, I was laughing because I was thinking about something naughty when you said DM. Sorry.
We'll talk on air right now.
Okay.
Off air.
Fox with you at Instagram and Twitter.
And like we just said, we'll be back next week. Keep your eyes and your ears peeled. Happy holidays if we don't see you, and yeah, see you next week. Later.
See ya.